So I know this isn't exactly breaking news, but we finally got that big reveal from Gemini after all their mysterious XRP posts, and turns out it's basically a credit card with an XRP logo slapped on it. Now, don't get me wrong, there's definitely more going on behind the scenes, but here's what I'm hearing. Apparently, the KYC process to actually get this card is pretty intense. I'll be honest, I don't know all the details since I don't mess around with crypto credit cards myself. It's not that I'm totally against them or anything. I just can't really see the point of having one for my situation. Look, I get it. Plenty of you are probably thinking, finally, something I can actually use. And honestly, I see where you're coming from. So here's the deal with this whole rollout. We're looking at the Gemini credit card XRP edition, and they're throwing around all the buzzwords. Ripple RLUSD for US spot trading, zero conversion headaches, instant crypto access, keeps things stable. Oh, and they made it all fancy and exclusive for the XRP gang. But here's the juicy part that actually caught my attention. The Ripple X dev team laid out the reward structure, and it's not half bad. Instead of getting boring old cashback, you're stacking XRP. We're talking 4% back when you're filling up your tank, charging your Tesla, or calling an Uber. Grab dinner? That's 3% XRP in your pocket. Weekly grocery run nets you 2%, and literally everything else still gets you 1%. You know what? I've got to give credit where it's due. That's actually a solid setup. If you're the type who puts everything on plastic for those sweet rewards anyway, getting crypto instead of cash makes total sense. Me personally? Yeah, I'm sitting this one out. The idea of overhauling my whole business card situation for crypto just isn't calling my name right now. But props to them for making it happen. It's live as of today, limited run, US folks only. Yeah, I know a bunch of people are salty about the whole US only thing, but come on, with all the regulatory mess we're dealing with, it totally makes sense why they'd start there. Anyway, this is what we're working with, and here's the actual card design they dropped. Look, let's be real here. This is definitely a solid update, no question about it. But let's not kid ourselves and pretend this is some earth-shattering news that's going to send XRP to the moon tomorrow or anything crazy like that. What it is, though, is another cool piece getting added to the XRP puzzle, and I'm honestly here for it. It's the kind of stuff that actually builds out the ecosystem in a real way, and you've got to love this. David Schwartz jumped on it too, posting himself rocking his XRP belt, XRP t-shirt, holding up the XRP rewards credit card at what I'm assuming is an XRP-themed coffee shop, or espresso as he put it. Nice touch, David. I mean, the guy's basically the walking XRP billboard at this point, and honestly, I think it's pretty awesome. The whole thing's pretty hilarious when you think about it, but honestly, for regular folks who just want to earn some XRP while buying their morning coffee and groceries, this is actually brilliant. I really can't wrap my head around how anyone would see this as a negative. And of course, Brad Garlinghouse had to chime in with his "what a time to be alive" energy. Classic Brad move. He's out there telling the XRP family to grab this special edition Gemini card and start racking up that 4% XRP on their daily spending. Even drop the Gemini link for anyone ready to jump in. Here's what I think is really smart, though. This whole thing is actually great for both XRP and RLUSD, since RLUSD just got the green light for US spot trading. That's kind of the bigger picture everyone's missing. And I really want to dig into this RLUSD expansion because, let's be honest, most people just roll their eyes when we start talking stablecoins. I get it. They hear stablecoin and immediately think boring, or why not just use XRP directly? But here's the thing everyone's sleeping on. Stablecoins are actually huge for XRP from a demand and value standpoint. And when you look at how RLUSD has been crushing it this year, think about it. At the start of this year, we were nowhere near where we are now. RLUSD just added over 600 million bucks to its total value, and we're sitting pretty at almost 700 million. That's up nearly 20% just in the last month. Plus, we're looking at 3.51 billion in monthly transfer volume, which jumped almost 16%. And now with this credit card dropping, that's just opening up even more markets for RLUSD to sink its teeth into. I'm genuinely pumped about this. Oh, and here's a fun little nugget. XRP's been flexing with over 30% gains in the last 30 days, while Ethereum's been hanging around 17 to 18%. Looks like that value is finally starting to flow into the XRP ledger, and honestly, we should all be pretty stoked about that. Now check this out. Reese Merrick just dropped some serious knowledge, and this guy knows what he's talking about since he's the senior executive officer and managing director for Middle East and Africa at Ripple. He's saying the stablecoin market is sitting at about 300 billion right now, but get this. They're projecting it could hit 1.2 trillion by 2028. Some forecasts are even more wild, talking about 2.8 trillion. The whole thing's getting supercharged by regulatory wins like the US Genius Act and fintech companies jumping on board left and right. Stablecoins are basically becoming the backbone of financial stability in this crazy, volatile world we're living in. And here's the kicker. The next big wave isn't just going to be random adoption. It's going to be driven by actual utility and big institutions finally getting serious about it. Ripple's sitting in the perfect spot to ride this wave, especially with their new SBI VC partnership launching RLUSD in Japan. We're talking enterprise-grade, fully regulated, completely backed stablecoin action. And speaking of that Japan expansion, huge props to Smoke Dog for catching this. We just got the official timeline. SBI Japan just announced that RLUSD distribution is kicking off March 31st, 2026. What's really cool about this is how they're emphasizing that whole regulatory clarity angle. That's what's going to separate RLUSD from all the other stablecoins floating around out there. It's giving institutions that peace of mind they absolutely need before they'll touch anything. SBI is basically saying this partnership isn't just going to boost stablecoin adoption in Japan, it's going to completely reshape what everyone expects from the entire market. And yeah, they've got all this officially documented through SBI Holdings, which is exactly the kind of legitimacy you want to see. Looking ahead to 2026 and beyond, I honestly think RLUSD is just going to keep snowballing bigger and bigger. And here's the thing. If you're holding XRP, you really need to wrap your head around how stablecoins actually work and why they're absolutely critical for these networks. Perfect example, let's throw it back to Bitcoin for a sec. I've been using this comparison forever. If Tether had never existed, Bitcoin wouldn't even be close to the value it is today, right? So here's the thing. Tether's massive presence on Bitcoin has basically supercharged the whole network. More demand, more activity, and boom, Bitcoin's value shoots up. That's exactly why people get excited when they see Tether just dropped another billion USDT, because they know a lot of that money flows right back into Bitcoin. Now here's where it gets interesting with RLUSD. We could be looking at the same kind of network effect happening with XRP, and honestly, it could be huge. We might start seeing RLUSD really move the needle on XRP's price too, but here's the catch. We need way more volume first. I mean, Tether's throwing around billion-dollar chunks while RLUSD is still playing with millions, maybe hitting 20 million on a good day. The entire RLUSD market isn't even at a billion yet. But that's actually the exciting part. We're literally watching this thing in its infancy. There are definitely some major RLUSD announcements coming down the pipeline, and the whole XRP Ledger stablecoin scene is about to explode. Get this. There are only 3 stablecoins on XRP Ledger right now, but that number is expected to jump to around 7. And here's the thing, we shouldn't tunnel vision on just RLUSD. Think about all the other stablecoins that are heading to the XRP Ledger. Each one of these is going to pump more value and volume into the ecosystem, and when you stack all that together, we're talking about a massive network effect that could seriously boost XRP's price over the next few years. But wait, it gets even crazier. Check this out from High Vibe Assets. They're saying RLUSD is way bigger than most people realize. Ready for this? Stablecoin transfers hit a mind-blowing $27.6 trillion in 2024. That's more than Visa and MasterCard combined. And yeah, this isn't just hype. It's all documented right there on what looks like the official Ripple website. Exactly. So this is straight from Ripple's own website talking about stablecoin remittances, and they break it down perfectly. Instead of going through the whole Western Union or MoneyGram headache, picture this. Someone in the US wants to send money to family in the Philippines. They just buy RLUSD through their digital wallet or exchange. Boom. It zips across the blockchain straight to their family member's wallet in minutes, not days. And here's the kicker. Way lower fees than traditional remittances. That's what makes stablecoins and their underlying networks so game-changing. And get this, those numbers I mentioned, the 27.6 trillion in stablecoin transfers for 2024 that beat out Visa and MasterCard combined, they've grown 28% year over year. Hold up, let me break down these numbers because they're absolutely wild. So we've got 27.3 trillion in stablecoin transfers for 2024, right? Now in 2025, we're already sitting at 21.5 trillion and we still have 4 months to go. Let me do some quick math here. Looking at the monthly transfer volume, even if we take the lowest monthly number, let's say 2 trillion, we're probably going to add another 8 trillion to that current total. That puts us at almost $30 trillion in yearly stablecoin transfers. That's absolutely bonkers when you think about it. And here's where RLUSD comes into play. It's already carving out serious real estate in this massive space, and I honestly think it's positioned to grab an even bigger slice of this demand. But wait, here's the real kicker. Goldman Sachs and BNY are literally moving a $7.1 trillion money market industry onto blockchain using digital tokens. And guess what? They've partnered with Ripple and XRP. This is according to Zaf Crypto, and honestly, this feels like we're watching the future of finance unfold right before our eyes.
Announcing today they are teaming up for a tokenized money product that could potentially transform the $7 trillion money market industry. This is interesting because stablecoins are kind of like money market. Anyway, joining us for more, CNBC banking reporter Hugh Sun, who broke this story. Hugh, so tell us about it.
Great to be with you, Kelly. Yeah, so lots of excitement over stablecoins because of what just passed last week, the Genius Act. And so notably, Citigroup, Bank of America, JP Morgan talking about issuing their own stablecoin. But what stablecoins can't do, and they don't do, is actually offer a yield. So part of the solution, and that BNY and Goldman Sachs, the reason why they're so excited about this innovation is that, if they have a future in which all these assets reside in the blockchain, they're going to be institutional players. Now, we're talking about hedge funds, we're talking about pensions, we're talking about, about corporate treasurers who are going to want to have a yield. And so it's essentially taking the money market industry, which is 7.1 trillion, bringing it to the blockchain and making it transferable in a way.
So help me understand this. How is this then different than a dollar, cash,
money,
or a short-term treasury bill, T-bill?
Yeah.
What is this? Why do we need this?
Okay.
I know I'm dense. I'm struggling.
No, it's good to talk about, Ryan. So there is the idea, and it's not supported by everybody, that essentially you're going to have a stable coin with a yield as a result of this. And actually, some people are proponents of that. They think that's a good thing.
But how are they getting a yield? They're buying short. They're buying T-bills.
It's just a money market. You've got money markets when you're in,
So the yield's going to be like 1 cent, infinitesimal, effectively.
I'm getting close to 3.84%. Yeah, if you go for a money market with a high yield, you can do that. Yeah, and so there is a decent yield on this. Corporate treasurers would want to put their cash, instead of having it 0%, actually earning a yield close to 3-4%. That's the reason why they would want to do it. And so this is taking this asset, which is well trusted. It's gained maybe $2 trillion in the last 2 or 3 years, the rate hiking cycle, and turning it into a token. Why would you want that? You might ask. I mean, ultimately, the thinking is from these guys is that if a cash management situation, they actually want to raise funds. They want to sell this the money market fund instead.
So listen, stablecoins are about to absolutely explode, like way bigger than they are right now. I've been saying this forever, and when you hear it straight from the biggest players in traditional finance, it's crystal clear we're not wondering if anymore. We know stablecoins are destined to go massive. Think about it, adoption isn't slowing down. It's hitting the gas pedal harder and harder every single day. Now, here's where it gets really exciting. BNY Mellon dropped this announcement on July 9th. It's literally pinned on their Twitter about being selected to custody Ripple's USD reserves. This is huge. Ripple isn't just playing in the crypto sandbox anymore. They're sitting at the big kids table with traditional finance giants. It's honestly mind-blowing when you step back and look at it. This whole RLUSD thing, Ripple's master plan has been in motion this entire time, and they're partnering with the absolute heavyweights in the industry. I've got to tell you, I am absolutely pumped about what's happening in this space right now. Like seriously, the energy is incredible. So we just got all these massive announcements dropping left and right. And yeah, I know what you're thinking. Oh, great, another credit card announcement. Look, I get it. Credit cards aren't exactly groundbreaking anymore, right? But here's the thing. And this is where it gets really interesting. When you start connecting the dots with RLUSD getting integrated with Gemini, and guys, Gemini is huge in the crypto exchange world, you can see this beautiful ecosystem forming. It's like watching puzzle pieces fall into place. This benefits everyone. Ripple gets more adoption, the stablecoin gains traction, and of course, US XRP holders, we're sitting pretty. Now, I'll be honest with you, this particular announcement might seem small compared to some of the bombshells we've been getting lately, but if you're holding XRP like many of you watching this channel, you need to be paying attention to everything that's happening right now. Even these smaller moves, they're building blocks, people. But let me blow your mind with this number. Are you ready? The stablecoin market is projected to handle over $20 trillion in yearly volume. Can you even wrap your head around that? $20 trillion. And here's my take. I genuinely believe RLUSD could grab a massive chunk of that pie. We're talking life-changing money flowing through these networks. Speaking of networks, let's talk about the big players for a second. Solana's been dominating with almost $4 trillion tied to their network alone. That's insane. But you know what I think is coming? XRP is about to start climbing those ranks fast. We're looking at about $1.2 billion that moved through the XRP ledger via stablecoins just this past year. And honestly, I'm seeing this number climbing way higher as we move forward. I genuinely believe we're going to see XRP climb right up to the top of this list. You know where Ethereum's currently sitting pretty with $9.1 trillion moved last year. Then you've got Tron at 4.6, Solana crushing it at 3.3, and BNB holding strong at 2.2. Just picture this for a second. XRP moving trillions of dollars. And guys, I'm telling you, we're absolutely going to get there. I mean, look around. If these other networks are already pulling those massive numbers, XRP is totally destined for that level too. All right, everyone, that wraps up today's video. If this breakdown helped you out, definitely smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring that notification bell for more awesome free content coming your way. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today, everyone. Catch you in the next one.